Hello and welcome to Marinsky March 2023, where every day in March we make a sausage recipe out of one of Adam and Stanley Marinsky's books. Last year we did home production of quality meats and sausage, which I think is one of the best sausage books out there still. It gives you the how and why behind what you're doing in sausage making. But this year we're doing recipes out of the new book, 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes, which is a gift to us sausage makers and meat enthusiasts. Adam and Stan have traveled across Europe and North America for the last 20 years compiling recipes, and they put it all into this jumbo book. What's even better is Stanley has sent me 5 copies to give away to you guys over the course of the month, and all you got to do to get qualified is leave a comment in the videos and I'll find you and I'll send you a copy if you're one of the lucky winners. So, without any further ado, let's get into 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes by Adam and Stanley Marinsky.
Hello and welcome to the episode of Mortadella di Prato, a recipe from 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes for Marinsky March. I'm quite looking forward to this one. I like mortadella. This one is a little bit different than what we think of as typical mortadella. I think there's a bunch of different types of mortadella. And this is the Mortadella di Prato. Mortadella di Prato is produced in the municipality of Prato, as well as Alana, Montella, and Quarata. So those are 3 little regions that produce this type of mortadella. In the province, these little communities are in the province of Pistoia. The originality of Mortadella di Prato is based on the use of liqueurs alchemers, which introduces a contrast between its sweet, delicate flavor and hot, pungent spices, the garlic and sea salt. Alchemers, from the Arabic al-Qismers, means cochineal, from the Persian type of Italian liquor prepared by infusing neutral spirits with sugar, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, vanilla, and other herbs and flavoring agents. Its most striking characteristic is its scarlet color, obtained by the addition of kermes, a small parasitic insect from which the drink derives its name. So a big part of this is adding that alchemers. And I'm going to be missing a big part of it because I've never heard or seen this liquor. I was like, well, maybe I'll whip it up until I seen it has this small parasitic insect in it that you can't get here. So we're going to have to exclude that, but we're going to follow the rest of the recipe to a T. So this one's an emulsified one with bits of white fat that pop out. Sometimes you see it with the pistachios, the little green nuggets that pop out of the sausage. This recipe does not have pistachios, but it's going to have peppercorns and chunks of white fat that are going to be visually nice. So first step though is it's pretty fatty. It's all going to be made out of pork bellies, which are in the freezer. I'll go grab, we'll run them through a plate, and then we'll run them through a blender, and then we'll mix the spices, and I'm going to stuff them into a beef bung. So that's pretty cool. First, before I grind the meat, I have our nice back fat, perfect white creamy back fat. We're going to cut that into 1/4 inch chunks, and I'm going to set it aside. It'll give the pork bellies a little chance to cool down a little more. 1/4 inch chunks so that they pop out of the fat. And they'll just be mixed in later. They're not going into the grind. All right, pork fat is cubed. I got some belly ends here we will send through the grinder. So we're just going to cut them down into strips. They're nice and frosty. And these are the belly ends. They're not the nicest part of the belly. So, okay, and I'm making a little bit bigger batch today. It's 4 kilos, so about 9 pounds. Almost 10, because I want to fill that whole beef bung. I think it would look cool. I should go through pretty good. It's nice and frosty, so I need my plunger. And it's a little bit coarser plate. It's just to make it easier for the food blender. I'll be asking a lot to get it to do 4 kilograms here, so it's going to take a little while. If I was doing this by myself, I'd be using that bowl cutter back there. It'd be way quicker, but I want it to be relatable for you guys. So we're gonna use the food processor. These are too big for the throat. All right, there's the end of our ground up pork bellies. Now we're gonna start our blending process, which is gonna take a while. I'm going to mix the seasonings into this ahead of time, except for the fat cubes. Oh boy. And the peppercorns. But look at what I've done. Me and my organization and preparation mixed everything ahead of time. Those spices look good though, hey? Can you take a guess what's in there? I think that looks like cloves. That looks like mace. Can't remember what that is. Cinnamon. White pepper, peppercorns, yum. But so I'm gonna just mix these spices in after I've got everything blended. Bit by bit, here we go. So it's just gonna, I'm not gonna make you watch this. This will be a long time. I promise I'm not gonna switch over to the old bowl cutter behind me. But I'm gonna take about a pound at a time. So it's gonna take me about 9 waves. I'm gonna get this meat ground up, or I should say emulsified up, like so. Throw in about that much, fire it up, and let it blend for about 4 minutes till it's a paste, and then off to the side, and we'll mix all the spices at the end. Okay, one thing I'm gonna do, this is the first round of the paste. You can see it looks like quite a fine paste versus our crumbly little bits, but it's a little bit hard on the little blender I have here, so I have 120 milliliters of wine measured out for our 4 kilogram batch. And I'm just gonna put that moisture in there. One, because wine kind of acts against binding. And 2, that little bit of moisture might help lubricate the little blender a bit. So here we go again. Whew. Okay, there we go. That's the last of the blending. Took about, I don't know, 25 minutes to do 9 pounds. Not the end of the world. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix the seasonings into it. It already has the red wine, and I'm going to pop it in the cooler to kind of cool back down. This blending process would have heated the meat up a bit. And I'm going to stuff it at the end when I got a couple other sausages ready to stuff as well. So thank you for your service, blender. So I'll show you the mass, the sausage mass we have here. Kind of looks more like a Play-Doh now than it does look like ground meat. So that's what you're looking for in emulsification. Using pork belly does give you a fairly high fat content, so I'm hoping when we poach this, I'm gonna have to pay pretty close attention. I wanna keep the temperature nice and low so we don't end up rendering out too much and we have like rendering out too much fat and we have like a encased fat log kind of thing. Time to mix in these spices. These beautiful, beautiful spices. It's gonna be a good one. It's a bit of a different spice profile than what you get over here, so I see why they want you to mix it in while you're blending it, because it's kind of difficult to mix this dense mass. Okay, I got a good mix on the spices. Now I'm gonna distribute those fat chunks into the sausage. It's gonna be a high fat content sausage, that's for sure. Fat, spices, and emulsification done. The next step will be get it into that beef bung, but that'll be in a minute or 2 after I get it cooled kind of back. Whew, she's sticky, cooled back down. Okay, the Mortadella de Prato is stuffed in there, and we're gonna use the beef bung. I'm pretty excited to make the beef bung, or stuff the beef bung. It's been soaking for about 45 minutes, and I flushed it once or twice already. I don't know, sometimes there's some stores up here in Alberta where you can get the beef bung bologna. And they look really cool. The only sad part about this is we're not smoking it. I'd really like to smoke it. Now, beef bungs will rip. So you gotta be careful, but they are fairly elastic. We are gonna end up peeling it off in the end, so oh, there we go. I'm squeezing about as hard as I can. Which is really, really tight. Okay, my left hand's tired. Whew. I don't know, feels fairly firm. Can't really see any air pockets in there. You can't really see through it that great in general though. Okay. Oh, it must have been squeezing fairly good. It's coming out the end of the horn here. Didn't squirt out the ring at the top though, so we'll just get the last little bit of this mortadella into that bung. Better do a quick check. Ooh, I'm actually not gonna. It's gonna be tricky to get that thing to fit in there, so I'm not gonna put that last little bit from the horn in there. Okay, I feel like I'm playing with fire. I'm gonna stop doing that. If you guys couldn't see, I was trying to squeeze it down some. Okay, it's gonna be tight. Okay, I've created a double knot so I can get a hook through the skin. It can hold quite a bit of weight, that beef bung. I'm gonna cut this excess beef bung off a couple inches up. Ready for the water. Okay, the water is on and warming up. In goes our big mortadella. We're gonna pay super close attention to this. Okay, yeah, just kidding. Oh, I got a little bit of an air pocket in there. I'm gonna leave it, I'm not gonna poke it. Leave it in there to cook, paying very close attention to the temperature. Paying very close attention to the temperature. So it's just come out of the tap, and it's our tap water is super hot. It's starting out at 160, so that's a good temperature. I'm gonna check it like every 5 minutes. Okay, I probed this because we've been in here for an hour and a half, and I'm disappointed at what I see. There we go. Do you see that? Look at all that juice we're losing. It's like a constant stream of, I'm pretty sure that's flavor. The fat from the belly we added. Well, we'll see what we get in the end, I guess. And it was at about 145, so it's getting close. The time has come to taste our mortadella. I don't know what you're thinking. Did I mess up editing? No. I did mess up recording though. When I pulled this out of the water, I forgot to hit the record button. So we just went straight from cooking to we're gonna test it. I basically probed it, and it was a little bit over. It was like just 163, I think is what it was. Took it out, gave it a cold water bath, and it's been in the cooler overnight. I have my doubts about what's on the inside of this mortadella. When I probed it to check the temperature, that little fat stream boiled and boiled and boiled, and you can see it's kind of hard for you guys to maybe see the comparable difference of the size, but it shrunk down by like 15 to 20% probably in size. So I don't know what's going to be in here. I feel like if I could have just left it in there and I didn't probe for temperature, it would have been a bigger, plumper sausage. But without further ado, I'll bring you in. You guys get the first look. There it is. There's quite a bit of grease at the top of the pot when we were done cooking, so I don't know. Let's have a look. Ooh. What do you think? Does it look okay? Yeah, it looks not bad. I definitely kind of ended up rendering out some of those fat. Like there should be no little pockets in between each piece of fat. But overall, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. The emulsification could have been a little bit finer, but with it pretty good coming out of a blender that smells very aromatic. The cinnamon and that red wine smells good. So, no, doesn't look too bad. I'd spend more time emulsifying next time, but let's have a piece, see how it tastes compared to how it looks. It probably should be a bit whiter and lighter in color too, but I think quite a bit of that fat left the sausage, so it kind of we're left with the meatier portion, which is okay. Peel that beef bung off, should come off nice and easily. Maybe if I didn't poke it though, this whole thing would kind of be encased in fat. There's like little deposits of fat here and there on the sausage. Slice it thinly like a piece of deli meat. There we go, doesn't look too bad. A couple peppercorns. Mortadella de Prato. The flavor is good. It does have like an emulsified texture. And it's fairly high enough in fat content for me. Very aromatic. The Spices work well together. Yeah, they work well together. It's, you know, surprisingly enough, it's quite the combination of spices in there. You got cloves, nutmeg, coriander, white pepper, wine. That piece of fat is nice and creamy. For some reason, I wish I'd like to go back and recook this one and not probe it, or have a probe pre-inserted to the casing and see what the result difference would be. But overall, it's a pretty good deli meat style piece of sausage. So, this is the Mortadella de Prato. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And we only got a couple more days left in March.